breaking news today.
Please subscribe and check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
It's the end of Democrat debauchery in Washington, D.C., as the lunatic left has come out of the woodwork to inflict revenge on the man they didn't want win the election. Despite Donald Trump being in the White House for a full year now, withstanding every attempt from the left to take him out, he's still their president. Trump prevailed over all their attacks, yet they still haven't stopped trying. Now, they are going to pay a price for it, especially one particularly seedy liberal leader who has just been arrested in the act outside the U.S. Capitol. It's not the first time that this particularly hateful Democrat has been arrested trying to impose his plans. It was only a couple months ago that he was caught outside the Trump Tower in New York City and taken into custody. However, this time, he's getting locked up on his second time around trying to take Trump down. Prison isn't going to be fun for him. One of the most vocal immigration reform advocates came out of his hiding hole since the last time he was arrested, to double down on his depravity after Trump's travel ban went into full effect. From Daily Caller. Democratic Representative Luis Gutierrez of Illinois was one of the 200 protesters arrested on the steps of the United States Capitol Wednesday afternoon. The sitting member of Congress joined members of the Service Employees International Union, SEIU, as they stormed the steps of Congress to demand action on DACA. Both chambers currently are considering a bipartisan measure to replace the order that allowed temporary protected status to illegal residents nationwide. Congress refuses to act, and it's killing us, one protester told the Daily Caller News Foundation. Union leaders on the ground declined a request for comment for the story. If his name and angry face sound familiar, it's because this guy can't just seem to do his job ethically, and you probably remember him from September when he was placed in handcuffs. Chrissy Hawley for Freedom Daily reported about what this liberal lunatic did outside Trump's high-rise in Manhattan after Trump ended the Obama-era DACA program. Liberals have been completely unhinged over President Trump daring to uphold the law, where they continue to slander him as some sort of bigoted Mexican-hating racist, despite the fact that our president is simply putting the interests of the American people before illegals, criminals, and potential terrorists. One of the most vocal opponents to President Trump's immigrant crackdown has been Democratic Representative Luis Gutierrez, who made headlines several months ago for inciting acts of terrorism against President Trump, where he made a YouTube video encouraging illegals to take to the streets and fight and start an all-out civil war against the president. But calling for blood and violence in the streets wasn't quite enough for Gutierrez, who has just been caught in a career-ending scandal after it was discovered what he's been secretly doing with taxpayer dollars for years. The D.C. Clothesline reports that this illegal-supporting Democrat has just been caught red-handed with his grubby hands in the cookie jar and has been secretly funneling taxpayer money to both his campaign and his family, making them rich. Via D.C. Clothesline. Gutierrez's wife has personally profited the most, pocketing more than $300,000 over the last 4 election cycles. The first time Sorita acted in an official capacity for the campaign, in 2010, she pulled in over $44,000 and was the top recipient of cash from the Gutierrez campaign that year. Sorita then pocketed over $93,000 in 2012, making her the biggest beneficiary of campaign funds for the second election cycle in a row. The committee dispersed $383,848 in 2012, so Sorita's payments constituted roughly 25% of all campaign expenditures. Sorita was yet again the top beneficiary of cash from Gutierrez for Congress during the 2014 election cycle, receiving $110,000. Herman Andrew, a vendor, was the second highest paid individual at $24,000. Sorita has pocketed $65,000 during the 2016 election cycle to date. She has been paid a total of $312,000 from the Gutierrez for Congress campaign committee since 2010. However, it doesn't stop with the $300,000 to Gutierrez's wife. Gutierrez's daughters have also benefited from their father's campaign coffers, though nowhere near as extravagantly as the candidate and his wife. Of course, he has nothing to worry about. The media won't report this because he's a Democrat. As the liberal meltdown continues and their lunacy parade continues to get worse, it's only making things better for Trump's re-election efforts in 2020. So for that, thanks, Democrats, for being out of control and letting everyone know you can't be trusted. There's only one reason why meltdowns of this magnitude persist, and that's because they feel exposed and vulnerable, that their lies and scandals that are bad for America, but good for them, aren't being kept a secret any longer. Trump should feel free to start planning his re-election parade.